Hi, I'm Brodie Catherina. I'm a student here at the Hopewell Valley Central High School. With me today are the Model Who students who went to Kenya this summer. My first question is, what was Nairobi like?
Okay, well, Nairobi's the capital of Kenya. It was really, I keep looking at the camera. It was really like dusty because they were expanding the highway at the time that we were there. And the roads are really, well, they drive on the opposite side of the road and they don't have lines. So it was really crowded. We stayed at a really nice hotel while we were there though. It was like luxury. Yeah.
All right.
There were fruit markets that were really full of bugs.
Okay. Jack, I heard you went to a tribal dance show, and what was that like?
It was really good. We got to go into this huge amphitheater that they'd built out of wooden logs, and it was huge, and it was incredible that they'd built it themselves. And yeah, we got to experience lots of different tribes and the types of dance they do, and they can certainly shake them hips. That's all I've got to say about it.
All right. My next question is, tell me about some of the schools you visited.
We went to like, oh, I should look at you. We went to like, I'd say like 10, I guess, schools. And at each one, we kind of had like, they set up like this huge ceremony, and like all the kids would come out, and they usually just like dance and then like say like poems and stuff. And then we brought like either like 1 or 2 suitcases full of stuff to give them. And then we would like present that to them and show them all. And then we'd like take a tour of their school. And then we'd usually leave.
All right. Tell me about your experience at the blind school.
I think the blind school was one of the schools that made the most of an impact on us. The students were like really inspiring because even though they were blind, they were incredibly determined and could do almost anything that we could do. We got to see them do scientific experiments, which included like using fire and like hazardous chemicals, even though they were blind. And they barely had like any safety equipment, but they were able to do it and do it really well, which was really interesting. And we ate lunch with them, and we had like their typical rice and beans. And it was just really interesting to see their way of life, because it was really different, because they're not only like in a different type of school, but they also have like limited abilities. So.
All right. How did your visit to the orphanage go?
We actually visited 2 orphanages. One was in Nairobi and the other one was in Kisii, which is where Mr. Ngweni is from. And the first one was a lot more wealthier than the second one that we went to. The second one had like 3 rooms and 2 wooden bunk beds in each, and all there was like a foam mat over it, and that's what like 3 or 4 kids would sleep on.
All right. What was your reaction when you gave the orphans all the briefcase of all the stuff?
They were all like really excited just to have basic things. They were super thrilled, but I think what really impacted us was like, I think what impacted us more wasn't like the fact that they had such a reaction to like things that we deal with every day, like colored pencils they got really excited about. I was more amazed at like I got more out of actually talking to the kids and seeing how nice and friendly and sweet they all were.
All right. How did the lunch go with Mr. Ngweni's family?
The lunch went very well. It was probably, everywhere we went on the trip, we were treated like celebrities. And I think here, more than most of the places, this was really evident. Everyone knew that we were coming, and the surrounding neighbors of Mr. Ngweni. There was close to maybe 200, 300 people there, I'd like to say. And what was really impressive was that Mr. Ngweni's, I think his sister and maybe some local neighbors were able to cook for over 200 people with no electricity or running water.
They killed a cow for us.
Yeah, they killed a cow for us, which is pretty cool, because that's a big deal for them over there. And yeah, they served 200 people with nothing more than a couple pots and boiling water that they had to get from a mile away.
Tell me about the tea center that the Hopewell-Karoka Alliance made or built.
Well, Model Who and the HKA both helped raise money to build this tea center, because women used to have to walk like 6 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is, but to go and bring their like picked tea all the way down to the center so that it could be processed in like the tea factory. So we built a tea center at the top of the hill so that they didn't have to walk as far, meaning that they could get more stuff produced. And yes, that was really special because like the entire community was there. And yeah. Okay.
How was your experience on the safari?
The safari was amazing. It was a nice break from like more of the, I guess I'll say like emotional stuff. We went to Masai Mara, which I think was like amazing because of the landscape. It's incredibly like vast and it just goes on forever. And the animals were just wild. Like it seems like the type of stuff you'd see on calendars. And we got like within feet and yards of lions and zebras all over. Like we got sick of zebras by the end. And we saw all sorts of cool stuff. I remember one of the really cool ones was a leopard we saw in a tree, like eating a carcass. There's just like really cool stuff.
All right. What did you do at the Princeton University Research Center?
That was our second stop of the trip, and we stayed there for 3 nights and 4 days. We went on our first safari, where we saw giraffes, zebras, what else did we see? Elephants.
Baby elephants.
At night, we slept in tents. And on the girls' side, there's a girls' side and a boys' side, because the girls and boys can be together. There was like an elephant outside of me and my roommate Allie's tent. It was really cool. And we learned about a type of zebra that's almost extinct, and it's only in the Impala Research Center, which is the Princeton. And it was just really interesting and cool.
All right. Final question to ask. For future people that want to go to Kenya, what would you tell them?
I would definitely 100% recommend it. Not only was it a good experience to see the world outside of Pennington, for me, it was my first time out of the country, which I thought was awesome because I don't have I don't know, I don't think anything really compares to it, but I would definitely recommend going. You get more than I learned a lot from all the kids, but we also everybody that went on the trip together has this bond that can't be replaced with other friendships.
Cutie.
So I would definitely recommend it.
Okay, I'm next. I think she's next. Oh, you go.
All right, you can go.
Yeah, also, I would just have to say that it was a great trip. We got to meet tons of people. We got to see tons of wildlife. So anyone interested in the wildlife in Kenya, it would definitely be a good trip for you. And you really get to open your eyes to a world outside the classroom.
My turn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would say that I just think it's always important if you get to go, just to remember that you're in Africa and take every experience. Not everything's going to be comfortable, and you just have to take everything for what it is. And definitely go because it just opens your eyes to so much different stuff that you would never usually think of. So, yeah.
I definitely agree. I think one of the important things to remember if you're going is that this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and there's no reason to complain that things might be a little bit different or uncomfortable, like Olivia said. And try to take the trip as seriously as possible, because if you do, then when you come back, it'll have the greatest effects. And it was amazing. You'll never really take anything for granted again, I don't think.
My turn?
Yeah.
The trip was really good. I would definitely go if you have the chance to. I think you only need 3 shirts and 3 pants. I rewore everything every day. It's just a really good experience to get outside of the United States and see how third world countries are.